In this lesson, I am going to discuss list type in Python. List is a compound data type. This means it can group items of other data types, that is numbers, strings, other list, and any other data type. So you can group different types of data or you can group same type of data. It all depends upon you, what is your actual requirement. So lists are mutable, that is you can modify the items of list. So how you can declare list in Python? In order to declare a list in Python, you need to remember that you will have to enclose list within these square brackets and all the items should be comma separated. Lists in Python are demonstrated as comma separated values of any data type and the items are enclosed inside square brackets. So here is a list. So this list contains elements of number type and all the elements are of same type. Now I am going to declare another list which contains items of different type. This one is a string and the next item is another list, for example. Now we have some boolean items and if I will execute it, it is completely acceptable. Now the list one contains items of mixed type. All the items are from different data types. So this is how you can declare the list. Now I will discuss how you can extract elements of the list. So remember that every element in the list is indexed with particular value. For example, 10 has index 0, 20 has index 1, 2, 3, 4. This whole item has index 5. This element has index 5. This one has 6 and then 7, right? So in order to extract the element at second index, what you will do, you will use the index within the square brackets and it will return you item at third index. If you want to extract item at index 4, you will have to pass that index, and let's suppose you require the element at index 5, it is going to return you the list which is this one. And let's suppose you want to extract the first element of this particular list. What you will do, now we know that its index is 5 and I want to extract its first element. So in that case I will have to pass the first index which is going to return me the list within the list, and we require its first element. So see, it is going to return us 20. Now let's understand how to do slicing. The method of slicing the list is similar to the method of slicing strings. So over here you will have to pass the start index and over here you will have to mention the last index. So what it means, it is going to return us elements starting from position 0 to the index 4 minus 1, right? This means it will return elements except the fourth index. So if I execute this statement, it returns me elements starting from this position 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have retrieved the 4 elements. If you will write something like list 1 and you will pass the start index second and you require the element till 4th index, right? So what it means, actually you will actually retrieve element till the 3rd index 4 minus 1, or you can say you want to extract element till 4th position. So it is going to return you 30.02 and string 1. So what is actually happening over here? So over here we have got this element which has index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And if you want to extract elements like this, right? So this is the length. We have 8 elements. So what we have said over here, if you will check the code over here, I have mentioned that I require element starting from position this one, starting from this position to this particular element. So we started from this place and we extracted element till this place. So if you will check, as position second, the index second, we contain string 1, and at this position we have got apple. So it has returned us string 1 and apple, right? I'm going to recreate the list 1 with same set of elements, right? So over here I'm going to write down I need elements starting from position 0. If I do not mention, it will take the default position, which is the start index, till third element, which is 10, 20, 30.02, the first 3 elements. Fine. And if you will mention you require elements starting from position third, so it is going to return you nothing, right? Why? Because if you will start from this position, the first index is 0, 1, 2 and 3, and what you said is the last element is till this place, right? So it has not returned anything. So now I'm going to discuss how we can add to lists. So I'm going to declare a list with elements 1, 2 and 3, and another list is list 2, which contains element 4, 5 and 6, right? These are the elements in list 2. And in case you want to combine both these lists, what you will do, you will use the arithmetic operator plus, and you will have to pass the another list called list 2, and when I execute the statement, both the lists are combined now in list 3. Let's check the items now of list 3. So you can see that list 3 contains items of list 1 and list 2. And if you want to append something in list 3, you will use function called append, which takes a parameter, the value that you want to append in this list, and execute this list. It is going to return you one more item in this list with value 10. And now, as I said, the lists are mutable, so you can modify the elements of the list, right? So in this case, I'm going to change the value of 3, the item at position 2, with some other value. So what I will do in that case, I will have to mention the list name, the index value, and the item which I want to overwrite. So now let's check the values of list, and it returns us the newly updated list. And if you want to remove some item from the list, what you will do, let's suppose I want to remove item, this particular item from the list, which is 10. So I will use function called remove, and will have to pass the item. Let's check the value, and it says that this is the new list because this particular element has been removed. Now over here there is a very crucial thing to understand, which I will narrate you with some example. I'm going to declare another list which contains some duplicate elements. So let's suppose this is the list. So I'm going to remove 2 from this list, right? So let's see what happens. Once I removed it, you can see that the element 2 is repeating twice in this list, over here and over here, but it has removed 2, which is the first occurrence in this list, right? The second occurrence is not removed, the first occurrence of the element is removed. So element which was at index 1 got removed, and we have got another list, this one. Now if you want to find out the maximum item in this list, which is 55 in this case, what you will do, you will use function called max, pass not this way. We will use call function max, and to this function we will pass the list, which is list1, and it returns us 55, which is the maximum value of the items in this list. And if you require the smallest item in this, you will use function called minimum, and to this we will pass list in which we want to make checks. So it returns us 1 because it is the smallest item in this list, the item which has minimum value in this list. Now if you want to count the repeating items in this list, what you will do, which function you will use. So let's suppose I want to know how many times 3 is repeating in this particular list. So I will use function called count, which will return us how many times 3 is repeating in this list, which is 2, because 3 is repeating twice in this list. If I pass, let's suppose 1, it returns that 1 is repeating only once in this list.